Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, or it might be the afternoon, could be the evening, whatever time you're up on Rapscast.com. You're now listening to episode 1 of our podcast. It's going to be a weekly podcast about how the Raptors are doing this week. My name's Jacob Mann, and I got my good buddy in the studio here with me, and I think he'll introduce himself right now.
This is Kyle Miller, and we're going to talk about why we're doing this. We both love the Raptors. We love the NBA. I think that sums it up.
Canadian basketball fans, the first of a very much a growing breed in this nation. Hopefully more of basketball fans to come, particularly Raptors fans. Popularity has grown. Canadians getting drafted. Things of that nature. And we are Rapscast, here to bring you all your Raptors goods and to talk in depth with you about the team that we know and love. First on the docket for the pilot episode, we want to talk to you about our new logo. You can let Kyle talk to you about that.
Sort of like the Canadian toonie, if you will. You see, there's a little gold inside, got a little rim. It kind of looks, it's very Canadian, don't you think?
Yes, absolutely. And I got to commend you on your perfectionism in that regard. No logo is good enough for you, Kyle, which is good because.
What do you think of it?
I think it's good. I think it's great. I mean, I'm not really an artistic, like a visual guy in that way. So I guess when I looked at it the first time, I thought it would do for a podcast. But
I thought it was no, I'm talking about the Raptors logo.
Oh, pardon me. We'll have to edit that out and make ourselves seem a lot smarter in that regard. The new Raptors logo.
Yeah, no, not ours, man.
Uh-oh. Sorry to say I'm not that familiar with the new logo. It's not the three-clawed basketball anymore, the big red ball with 3 claws?
No, man, they had a big old meeting. They had Drake meet up with Tim Lewicki and Masai Ujiri.
Okay.
And they completely redesigned it in an effort to rebrand the franchise.
Point out the one I'm looking at here. It's not this anymore?
No, it's not the 3 claws. It's the one that you just see with the North.
Huh. No. Oh, right here.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah, and they made it in about 4 different colors. So it's all good now.
Do we like this one more than the last one, Kyle?
Yes and no. In a few different colors, it looks like a toonie. I like that. It's very Canadian.
Oh, you're totally right. It does look like a toonie.
It's nice. But the thing that people are saying, it's a kind of a hit or miss, is that it kind of looks like Brooklyn.
A little bit, eh? Especially the one I'm looking at here has got a lot of black and white
makeup.
Yeah,
exactly. And people are saying there's a lot of similarities. I mean, Jay-Z buys the Nets, makes a logo, kind of looks like that logo. Now we have Drake making our logo. I mean, what's going on? You know, it's kind of like copying each other.
Taking notes out of the book of our maybe rival, as we'll get into later on in the podcast, the Brooklyn Nets.
And what happens, this is what I've been thinking. Jay-Z, he's a mogul, you know? He makes some good music.
Yes,
right?
sir. Yes, sir. Well, I mean, he made some good
music. Okay, made some good music. We'll
I think
leave
he's
that.
past his prime, but
that's a topic.
That's for another day, exactly.
But what happens? Okay, Drake's a pretty cool guy right now, right? But what happens? Like, what if he's not like all time, and he's just a fad, like Justin Bieber?
And then,
like, he's cool right now. I mean, Justin Bieber was never cool, but he's cool right now, and then in a few years we'll be laughing. God, we idolize this guy Drake.
You think the Raptors would stay? You think the Raptors would keep him on board if that was the case?
No.
Even though he's basically the biggest thing in hip hop to come out of Canada or at least Toronto.
But it's just like, I wonder, he has such a big imprint on the franchise. Like, what happens if he
Life after Drake?
Yeah, life after Drake. What happens if he just haunts us? Like, oh my God, I can't believe we backed this guy as our global ambassador.
Another reason to root for Drake at the Grammys, I suppose. Another reason I hope he has a good musical career.
I guess we gotta like rally behind him.
Do you listen to Drake?
No.
Me neither.
No, he made a new song. It's really good though.
Called
0 to 100.
Oh, that's old, man.
Okay, new to me.
New to Kyle.
New to me.
Yeah, no, I like that song too.
I think he got slapped in the face by P. Diddy.
Oh yeah, I heard about that. DJ Khaled's birthday party or whatever.
He didn't like it.
Yeah, I think I watched that on our podcast Heroes show, the Grantland Empire, on Jalen and Bill. I think I heard them talk about DJ Khaled's house party at which Drake got punched in the face. But enough about Drake. Enough about the new logo.
So you like it or not? Or do you think they needed a rebranding before we just jump to the next one?
You know, I didn't. I love the jerseys. I love the old logo with the raptor in it, the red-skinned raptor and the big raptors in black and white. I think they're going to
keep that, but the weird thing is, why rebrand when your team's doing well?
I mean, my hypothesis as to that would be the ADHD fan era.
Okay.
So,
We
you
need
know,
change.
a
We
fan,
just need
yeah,
it.
exactly.
No
A fan
patience.
can't stay pleased with any brand, be it a logo, Drake,
That's
or
right.
what have you, for more than a year or two at max.
The other thought is, you know, like, it seems like every few years there's the new, like, the cool team.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, first OKC, like,
Mm-hmm.
OKC not so much. They don't exactly have the nice jerseys, but, you know.
You don't like the baby blue, Kyle?
No.
Yeah, me
No,
neither.
it's a joke. But, you know, KD's tearing it up. They're the cool team. Everybody likes them. LeBron James goes to the Heat. All the bandwagons, this is actually before, but bandwagon fans, they go to Miami. Now the Nets. The Nets last year sold the most jerseys, I think, of all the teams because they're the cool team.
They also have a big market over there in Brooklyn. But
For sure, but, I mean, think about 3 years ago how many people were buying New Jersey Nets jerseys.
That's true. And you can see, I mean, even in Montreal, which by no means is a top-tier basketball town, the Brooklyn apparel seems to be very popular amongst, you know, folks our age.
So are the Toronto Raptors trying to become the cool team? That's the question.
Are they trying? I think they have succeeded already. I think
They're saying bandwagoners, come on.
Yeah, and I think
you know,
it's worked.
come on, man. If you don't like the Raptors, get on the bandwagon.
Certainly, if you're a
100%.
Canadian who doesn't like the Raptors, get on the bandwagon
Yeah,
for sure.
They're a good team. They're a fun team to watch.
Yes, a team worth switching allegiances for, I think.
So the rebranding, good shot, good time. We like it. The team's good.
Yeah.
We got some new fans. We got some stylish clothes. Why not?
Yeah, I think definitely having Drake there.
We have gold and black jerseys next year, something like that. It's gonna
Have
be
they
nuts.
have they showed those yet?
No, but those are the colors of the logo.
The
Not the one
Toonie.
you saw, but it's going to be gold and black.
So we have Toonie colored jerseys.
Designed by Raptors.
We money, baby. We money. We
Yeah.
money.
Yeah.
All right, Kyle. So there's a question I wanted to ask you about these Raptors and the Brooklyn Nets, the aforementioned Brooklyn Nets. If the Raptors have a rival, well, first of all, do they have a rival? And if so, is it Brooklyn or is it some other team? And how come?
Yeah, it's weird because they kind of just borrowed a bit from the logo, as we were talking about, but man, at least me, I hate those Brooklyn Nets. And so does Masai Ujiri. Last year, fuck the Nets. Oh no, fuck Brooklyn.
Fuck Brooklyn was the
Fuck
quote,
Brooklyn,
wasn't it?
that's
Yeah.
it. That was the quote.
Yeah.
I think we have a rivalry.
I think we have a rivalry too. I mean, I think we're not as spoiled as a lot of basketball markets like Boston and
Lakers.
perhaps the Lakers, where like your
Yeah.
rivalry gets, you know,
Heated
every
through
year it
playoffs.
just gets
I mean,
more and more heated. and,
We don't exactly have a beautiful history.
right, exactly. Like the
Yeah.
hate was bred into these towns to hate the other town for their sports prowess. So in the 25 years in the history of the Raptors, I would agree. I think last year in the playoffs did mark the beginning of a rivalry for sure, especially with the kind of team that Brooklyn is. They're kind of, at least last year, they were very physical, very bullyish team.
I think it even started before then, right? The Raptors, they're divisional teams.
Good point.
In the same division, they played 4 times, and every 4 times, I think they split the series last year. All 4 of those games were very intense, especially since in around January, that's when the Nets were starting to heat up. Raptors were just ahead of them, trying to catch up, stuff like that. They were heated games. But then even before the playoffs, you have Jason Kidd going, oh yeah, we lost this game on purpose because we wanted to match up with the Raptors. I mean, that Masai Ujiri, you know?
Yeah. Well, isn't it great when management types get in on the beef a little bit? Isn't that awesome?
And the coach. And
Yeah, it's
being
great for
so
the
public
fans.
about it.
Yeah, well, I mean, like a GM, an icon, a GM, somebody who has to be kind of an ambassador for the game to come out and say, like, fuck Brooklyn on a public stage,
Yeah.
I think was a very ballsy move.
It's a ballsy move.
That's Masai Ujiri for you, I guess,
This
eh?
is the guy who up in charge.
Yeah, first African-born GM in any of the major North American sports. Is that crazy or what?
Yeah,
The
that's
first
crazy.
ever African-born man to make it there. That's
Top
pretty
class.
awesome.
He's one of the best.
Yeah.
Is
I
he
would
the
agree.
best?
GM in the league?
Yeah.
He's trending very high. Like, yes, maybe not in his overall body of work throughout his career as of yet.
No, he's done a good job on the Nuggets. He did an amazing job.
Well, I don't know about that. They never.
Their
What have they
Carmelo
done?
That Carmelo Anthony trade, he got so much back.
And what did he do with it?
He left. He got the hell out of Denver.
Yeah. But the team. I don't
But
know.
he led them to a 57-win season. Then he left.
With under
George Karl.
Yeah.
2 years ago.
Yeah. With they had Danilo Gallinari off the bench.
Yeah,
I think.
that's
and
who they got from New York.
Yeah, they were a great team.
Mozgov, yeah.
Yeah,
He's a good
point.
guy.
I tend to forget about teams that don't either make the finals
that's
or the
fair.
conference finals,
That's
but it's a
totally
tough
fair.
league, isn't it? Yeah.
But he's a genuine good guy.
He
Happy
is
to
a
have him up
genuine good
there.
guy.
Do we need to have a good GM to be a good team?
A lot of people, for those of you who don't know, Kyle and I are doing this podcast from the Bell Media studio, this radio station over here in downtown Montreal, and I work with a lot of guys who love to say that it starts at the top. It trickles down. So if the excellence is at the top, you have a coach, a GM, an owner, and a president, what have you, who have the right kind of knowledge, the right kind of passion, that they will be able to put together the players.
Fully agree.
If you could trade away your whole team for a bunch of scrubs, but make sure that you lock down a great coach, a great GM, and a great owner, your future looks brighter that way.
Is this why the Sacramento Kings aren't that good right now?
Yeah, probably.
Is that
I saw this.
NBA's best kept secret?
They are the NBA's ugliest team.
Oh, man.
Oh, the
They're
Sacramento
in need of
Kings.
rebranding. That's
Yeah.
what they need.
And we think they're going to take a shot on Josh Smith, maybe.
Oh, my.
But we'll get to that later. We got a lot of things to discuss. Up next on this podcast, we're going to talk about another good guy, just like Masai Ujiri, Landry Fields.
Man, Landry Fields, he made a comeback.
What a surprise for the Raptors. What a pleasant surprise for the Raps, man. Coming out on that court and just...
It was the rise to relevance.
Wasn't it? Yeah,
He played
playing
his
with
way
confidence.
Maybe to like another NBA contract. He might be an NBA player still.
Yeah, maybe. Which I think really speaks to Dwayne Casey. I think that really
He is a hell of
shows
a
you.
coach.
Hell yeah. Oh yeah.
I think he's probably the coolest guy on the team.
Have you seen the episode, I want to say it's episode 3 of Open Gym that just came out a couple days ago?
I haven't.
It's the
I wanna
Dwayne
see
Casey episode.
I want to see it.
Boy, that guy's got cute kids, man.
Yeah?
Oh yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Kyle Lowry, he's probably a cool guy.
Yes.
Dwayne
certainly.
Casey, man, that guy.
Dwayne Casey's got that old man wisdom.
That's what it is. He has like swag coming out of his ass.
Old man swag. It's old.
Yeah,
it's kind of like it's the wisdom. He'd be such a good dad.
Yeah,
You know.
He's not exactly like a Zen master. He's not Phil Jackson, but he's just a cool guy.
Yes, I would
Interesting.
totally agree. And what a job he's done. He earned that
He's
contract,
earned
in my
it.
opinion.
So Landry Fields, let's talk about that guy.
Yeah, Landry
He
Fields.
just got injured. He missed the game. He might miss a few more past his concussion test. What do you think about him? He's been playing as a starter, all out of the blue, to try to guard LeBron.
I'll tell you why it's worked for him.
Okay.
First of all, he's a very underrated athlete. The guy can run, he can jump, he can move his body
Yeah.
very, very swiftly. He's a really great athlete. He can run the floor and do whatever you want him to do in that regard. And that kind of turns him in to a really good perimeter defender when you combine that with his
He's
IQ.
a big body.
Yeah, he's a big guy. He's very strong, very fast, very physically capable, and he's also very smart. So he won't
That's
turn the
probably
ball
his
over
best.
for you too much. He'll be an efficient player on both ends
Yeah.
of the floor. You can trust him as a coach.
100%.
And I think
I think his IQ is his biggest selling point.
Stanford, I don't know if he's a grad, but I know he attended
Probably
Stanford
not a
and played
grad.
basketball for them. Yeah, no, definitely a very, very high IQ player. I remember the other day when I think I texted you, when he hit that 3, when it was against
my
Orlando,
Who
and
was
Kyle
more
Lowry
shocked?
put on a dance show on Victor Oladipo. Put on a nice little right to left to right dance show. Kicked it out to Landry, and Landry drained it.
So who was more shocked? Landry Fields or the rest of the team? I think Landry.
You think Landry?
I think Landry was like,
What
oh my
happened
God.
to him again? He had like nerve damage in his hand.
He signed with the Raptors and had nerve damage in his elbow, and he just hasn't been the same since. He had a few surgeries.
In terms of jump shooting.
Yeah, in terms of jump shooting.
Right.
But I think he was pretty surprised he hit that. He was smiling down the court. Oh,
I don't think I saw him
give the
take
guns.
in any other
Oh
ones.
no. He sets up. He's a good facilitator.
Yeah, he is a good facilitator, and he'll help you run your sets efficiently. He'll
Yeah.
set screens. He'll
He
do
plays-
all the little
you know,
things.
He plays within himself. That's what he does.
Yes, I would agree with that.
I mean,
for
he
sure.
doesn't make mistakes. He doesn't do anything that's going to lose you the game.
Right. So his contract is up this year, Kyle.
Yeah, he's going to be our sexiest loss of the contract.
Or sexiest loss of the contract.
Yeah.
Why do you say that?
He's like $9 million, something, or $8.5 million. That's a big.
He signed that in New
contract.
York, though.
No, he signed that with us.
Really?
I think that was Colangelo's last mistake.
Gee, thanks, Brian Colangelo.
Yeah.
Making the Raptors worse since you've had the job.
Yeah.
Good riddance.
And Masai Ujiri, first thing he did, what did he do? He traded Bargnani and got 2 first-round picks from New York.
He's the man. And look what he's doing now. He had some DNP, some did not plays.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes he doesn't get off the bench for the New York. I don't think he got in against the Raptors last time.
He's actually hurt right now.
Oh, he's hurt. Okay,
yeah, he's
okay.
hurt. He's always hurt. He's always been
Right, that's Bargnani for you.
Yeah, Derek Fisher doesn't even want him on the team. He's so useless.
Talk about a guy who can't play defense. Talk about a one-dimensional
Talk
player.
about a 7-footer who can't grab a rebound.
Talk about a scrub, Kyle. Talk about a scrub.
A mistake.
A mistake. Aren't we glad we don't have him? He was the leading scorer. Like he was the
He was
people
good.
would
He had some promise.
like on TSN when they do the little like or whatever you watch. Sometimes before the game happens, they'll say like, for instance, LeBron and the Cleveland Cavs visit Charlotte for tonight's game. It used to be Andrea Bargnani and the Toronto Raptors, as if he was the.
And the funniest part is teams would actually like game plan against them. They go like, oh my god, he has this one move. He stands out at the 3, pump fakes, and runs in, and then he misses the layup.
Talk about being soft.
Yeah.
The definition of
Do you
soft.
miss the Primo Pasta commercials?
No, I never liked him in the first place. I don't even eat Primo pasta.
Me neither.
And he doesn't even do anything. He just eats it and says that it's good.
It. He says, like, I'm Italian and I like this pasta.
Doesn't tell a joke.
Terrible.
It's very bland. No, I'm not a fan of the Primo pasta commercials. Not even in the slightest.
That wouldn't be approved in the rebranding.
Well, now we've got the Amir Swiffer Wet Jet commercials.
Oh, yeah.
And that's funny, man. They did a good job on that one. That one's good for some laughs.
Yeah, that one's good. I like the matchup of the night.
Yeah.
Matchup of the night. They do the Swiffer Wet Jet
yeah, but he also...
matchup of the night.
I don't know if you've seen it. There's a commercial where he actually goes to folks' houses and,
Yeah, I saw
and
it,
acts
I
as a
saw it.
butler, cleaning their house with a
I
Swiffer
saw
Wet
it.
Jet. Or delivering them a Swiffer Wet Jet or whatever, but it was good stuff. Good stuff. Much better than the Primo Pasta Andrea Bargnani spot.
So is Landry Fields, are we happy he's a starter? I mean, DeMar's gone. Once DeMar comes back, he's probably going to go back to being that 0 minutes per game.
Somewhere between
player.
0 and like 10 on any given night.
I don't think he's going to play very much, but are we happy he's a starter? Is he doing a good job? I mean, he might not be playing tonight against the Bulls, but is he doing it good?
Yeah, he's not a negative. So
I think he's a positive. I think he's doing a great job.
yeah, me too. I mean, he's not exactly the like the scoring threat or the he's
But
not
he
the
doesn't need
impact
to be.
player that
He
he
doesn't
once
need
was,
to be. He just needs to be a smart player, plays deep.
which he is. I think that's his identity. He's doing great.
Yeah, and is he going to be in the NBA next year?
So hard to say, isn't it? It
think
depends.
he
If he
could.
can improve his shooting,
I don't even think they need. There are many people in the league who cannot shoot. As long as you, Cleveland Cavaliers, they want a big perimeter defender. They
Right.
could use him.
yeah,
He's not he's a good perimeter defender. He's not amazing. He's not like a stopper.
he can guard like tier 2 NBA scorers.
Yeah, he could do a good job and good team defender. He probably has a spot in the league.
And you think?
I mean-
you think Cleveland? You drop Cleveland's name.
Drop Cleveland. I don't think we're going to trade him to Cleveland, but I think maybe next year, if they want a cheap signing, they can go for him.
So it sounds like you're pretty sure the Raps are not going to sign another contract.
No,
with Landry.
he's one of those guys. You could find him anywhere. You could
Interchangeable.
Yeah, just look in the waiver wire. You'll find someone.
And
Landry
besides-
Fields has many different names.
The Raptors already have another big body perimeter defender who's also better with the ball in his hands and on offense.
And James Johnson.
James Johnson.
Oh,
And
God.
that brings us, what a perfect segue into topic number 5 on the pilot episode of Rapscast. What just went down between the big man Andre Drummond and the slightly not as big man, JJ.
And he slammed it down.
He slammed it down, didn't he? The
What
baseline,
did
he had
he said I cranked it down on him?
I crammed it, cranked it.
Yeah.
Too many terms. But the pump fake, I think it was like 2 right-hand dribbles, and then he just explodes off the floor, back, the right hand way back with that ball,
He loved it. He wasn't even
Slams
modest
it in the
about it.
mud.
He said, yeah, that was beautiful.
and then a couple possessions later, the big man Drummond
Gives him a body check.
ain't so big when it comes down to it, is he? Couldn't take it like a man.
No.
Body checks him on his way into the lane. JJ goes down on the floor. What do you think about a move like that, Kyle?
He looked like he was in the wrong sport. Should have put him on skates. Put him on next guy on the Habs.
Yeah, or a linebacker. Imagine a 7 foot,
280
nearly 300 pound
yeah.
hockey player. I mean, we have Chara, but you got to be able to skate if you're 7 feet tall.
That's true. He definitely is not a gracious man. I don't think he's moving around on the skates very well.
Swiftness
No
is
way.
not his chief attribute.
Yeah. 100%. But JJ, JJ, how's he doing for the Raptors?
Amazing pickup. Really an amazing pickup. I think he's a guy who flew under the radars of a lot of people in the NBA.
Yeah, mine too. 100%.
Yeah.
I didn't expect this.
I don't think like a lot of people did. I think it takes a guy like Masai Ujiri to spot the gem
Yeah.
that is JJ.
I mean, he had a great season last year, one of the best. This year, he's even eclipsing that. I'm going to say I was wrong. I thought he would be a distraction in the locker room. No.
He's like a
Oh,
glue
God.
guy, actually.
Yeah, he's a glue guy. He's playing for the team.
and he
buying
does what's
into that.
asked.
He does what's asked, and he plays within himself.
Yes.
I think that's what all the Raptors are doing, and that's what's making them good.
Yeah,
Because nobody's saying, "Oh, I'm playing for me tonight," including Lou Williams.
right. And I think JJ is part of the reason why a lot of
Yeah.
the guys that they brought in are very
Yeah,
team oriented guys.
100%. And like you have a guy like Lou Williams in his last year, Tyler Hansbrough in his last year, Amir Johnson in his last year. They could be saying, "Give me the ball, give me the ball, give me the ball. I'm gonna shoot."
I want that big money. I want that big
Lou
money.
Williams, okay, he does do that, but he's asked to do that, but he doesn't. They all play within themselves. They do within the team. what the team wants them to do.
Absolutely. Yeah. Anyway, so Drummond knocks him to the floor. There's J.J. Lyon there. And we looked at the interview that he said after the game. Sadly, I can't remember too much of it, but I remember him saying that, he's a good sport about it. It's part of the game kind of thing. It's not how I would want to play, but...
This is how Drummond?
This is J.J. saying this. He said it's part of the game. It's not...
it was kind of dirty.
It was very much dirty. Yeah. Did he get a flagrant on that one?
Yeah, he got a flagrant 1.
A flagrant 1, so that's, I think, free throws on the ball.
Yeah, he got ejected at some point. I think it was related to that.
See, I'm a bad fan on this one. I did not watch that game.
I gotta say, I'm gonna say I had exams and.
See, I don't even have a good excuse. That was not the matinee, was it?
No, that was yesterday.
That was yesterday.
Yeah.
So yeah, I didn't catch the Pistons game. Sorry.
We're terrible.
Sorry.
People.
But I did catch that part of the news, and I just thought it was a very interesting thing. You got to be able to get dunked on in the NBA, man. There's a lot of athletes flying around. You can't just shove every guy on the floor who puts you on a poster.
It's the wrong sport for that.
Yeah, Drummond, smarten up, buddy. Smarten up. Deal with your embarrassment like a man.
If Stan Van Gundy doesn't like you, come sign with us on the Habs. Why not? He's a guy to push on the board.
Yeah, we can use some physicality.
He won't move.
But he'll throw himself around.
Yeah, stand in front of the net, just be a big body and just take pucks.
So we think Andre Drummond's a goon, is what we're trying to say.
Yeah. No. He's a hell of a player. He's going to be a franchise player.
I think he's got work to do.
He's got plenty of work to do, but a big guy takes a lot of years to develop fully.
Absolutely. I think also having Greg Monroe there is paramount to his...
Greg Monroe, is he staying there? What do you think?
I'm not totally sure. He's up this year, too?
Yeah, he's up this year. He was a free agent last year, restricted. He signed the qualifying offer.
I think we're getting into this later, but when we talk about Josh Smith, I think his departure is a big
that probably
is a big factor in whether or not he'll re-sign with them.
Okay, we can talk about that after.
Yes. But after. Because right now, it's time to talk about this road trip the Raps are going on.
6 games.
6 games. First of all, they just won 6 in a row. They're on a big streak right now. They're hot. And they play in Chicago tonight. And on this road trip...
Yeah, who are they playing against?
Oh, a lot of really good teams. Okay, so
we have all above 500, right?
The Bulls, yes.
Except the Nuggets.
Except the Nuggets. Oh, the Suns are above 500, yeah. And we have some of the top teams in the West. So we have the Bulls
Great team.
Tonight. Saturday night, so they have a nice break to get onto the West Coast. They'll have fresh legs for this one.
Let me see. Tonight, Monday, the next game is Saturday?
Yes. We're in LA with the Clippers.
Okay, and then we got a back-to-back.
Yes, a weekend back-to-back.
Weekend back-to-back against 2 teams that run.
Yeah, and the second one is in altitude in Denver.
Yeah, but they don't exactly take advantage if they're home. They're like
the Nuggets. The Nuggets suck.
They're not playing well.
Okay,
so what do you think? Tell me about this back-to-back. What are your expectations?
I think the altitude will be a factor. I think after a back-to-back.
Let's just talk about what teams we're going to play. So we're talking first the Bulls tonight. Clippers on Saturday, Nuggets Sunday, then we got the Trailblazers and the Warriors. And the Suns? Yeah, the Suns. All good teams. That's six games. 6 games against formidable Western Conference, except besides Chicago. Well, Chicago's a great team. Yes. They still stand on the great team. Would I be right in saying they're your favorite team after the Toronto Raptors? No. Atlanta Hawks. No, of course. How could I forget? Hawks. How could I forget? They're art on a basketball court. Yeah. That's what they are. The way they play their offense. Who's your favorite player on the Atlanta Hawks? Jeff Teague. Oh, yeah? Jeff Teague. That very underrated point guard. He is an amazing point guard. Yeah. He is so fast and so smart in the pick and roll. Great player. Yeah, I'd agree with that. But back to the 6 games. So, 6 games, what is your expectations, or how many wins make you happy out of those 6? Let's see. I'm giving them a loss for keep in mind how good the Raptors really are this season. Yeah, I'm not giving them average expectations yet. Yeah, what should the Raptors do on this road trip? That's true. I sort of have my pessimistic Raptors attitude from the past few seasons. But as a 22-6 team. Yeah, we're a good team. Yeah. So, I'll tell you what. They should beat the Bulls tonight. You think? Yeah. I don't know. I'm calling a loss. Yeah? Yeah, the Bulls are a great team, unless... How many wins do the Bulls have right now? Not 20. No, 3rd place in the conference, I think. I think so. I'm not really sure. Something like 17 wins around or something like that. Yeah, they're a good team. Their record, they have the talent probably to be the first team in the East. Really? I'd say we're overperforming right now. We're a great team, and we're overperforming. That's nothing bad to say. Chicago is well coached, and they have a roster on paper that's just unbelievable. Unless we stick Chuck Hayes in and he gives him the little body.
Yeah. Then the game's out. Then Raptors win by 20.
Yeah, if Dwayne Casey learns from mistakes, he says, Chuck, you go and you
gotta be my guy, Chuck.
Yeah, go. You see that guy, Pau Gasol? You go give him the business.
Just go sit on him.
Yeah, sit on him. Then we have a shot. Okay? Chuck Hayes gives him the lead.
I think we're gonna miss DeMar tonight quite a bit.
Yeah, but if you remember last game, Jimmy Butler really held down DeMar. Right? I think he held DeMar to shooting 33%, something ridiculous, a low field goal percentage. Jimmy Butler's a hell of a player.
That's why I say that. I'm worried about Jimmy Butler on the other end of the floor. How are we going to guard the guy without DeMar? Because you're going to have JJ play enough minutes to guard a guy like Jimmy Butler.
That's what we're going to do. JJ's in the starting lineup.
It'll be a challenge for him. Or maybe they'll put Fields on him.
I don't know if Fields is playing.
Oh, of course.
Yeah,
of course.
I don't know if
He's got that
playing.
concussion
But JJ
issue.
is a great player. He could probably hold down Jimmy. Jimmy's fast. He scores 22 points a game.
Yeah.
Plays great D. They're a good team on paper and chemistry and well coached.
Well, they got a good surprise out of Jimmy Butler this year, I think. I think they weren't expecting him to be the scorer that he is.
I don't think Jimmy Butler even expected that.
I love the NBA in that way. Always, there's a guard that has a coming out party. There's several guards, particularly, that have coming out parties every year.
Yeah, I like what he talked about in an interview about 2 days ago, saying, I don't consider myself a star. I don't want to be a star. I want to be what a team needs me to be. That's the type of player I love.
That's what you need in the league, man. That's how a team wins games.
You want me to score? I'll score. If you say hold back on your shots, no, I'll hold back. That's what he is. He's a team player. I love it.
A valuable guy to an
Kind
NBA
of like
franchise.
Kawhi Leonard in that sense.
Right. Yeah.
So in terms of those 6 games, how
Yes,
many
sir.
wins? How many wins you projecting? How many wins make you happy? Tell me about that.
How many wins make me happy?
This is probably the hardest stretch.
Yes.
In the
at
season.
least so far, at least.
It might be even in the
entire.
In the entire. I checked a bit in advance. This is going to be one of them.
This has got to be one of their longest road trips.
Yeah. And against all good teams. So how many wins do you think we're going to get? And how many wins make you happy?
I think we're going to get 4.
4, that's bold.
And 4 would make me happy.
4 would make you happy. Okay.
Yes.
I guess I got the little pessimistic Raptors fan.
Are you going to say 2? You're going to say
yeah,
1?
I was going... No. I was going to say... I think 2 out of the 6. I think that'll happen.
And who do we beat? Who do we beat?
Who do we beat? Let me see that. The Nuggets. Well, the Nuggets were coming off a back-to-back, but you know what? We know what it takes to beat the Nuggets. So I'll go with the Nuggets. I don't think we'll beat the Warriors. They're a great team.
They are the best team in the NBA right now.
They're a great team. They're well coached. They know how to win. I think the Trailblazers is the same thing. Damian Lillard is a nightmare. LaMarcus Aldridge, great player. So Denver, I'm going to say, you know what? I was going to say the Clippers, but just because they're really deficient on the wing. But you know what? We don't have a wing right now who's just going to destroy them. DeMar's out.
Mm-hmm.
And Chris Paul is great on both ends of the court. So I guess I'll go with the Suns. I think we could win both of those games. We could win tonight. I don't think we'll win tonight. That's what I'm going with. And you know what? I think we'll win 3. And I'll give the extra one just because Kyle Lowry's there. And Kyle Lowry wins games. That's what he does.
You just like him because his name's Kyle.
Yeah, straight up. But I'll be happy at 2.
All right.
If we go 2 and 4, that's solid. That's the hardest part of our season. On the road, 6 games, all good teams. Where we're without our best scorer. And DeMar's been better on D2. He's improved a lot of aspects of his game.
Absolutely, yes.
So if we go 2 and 4, I'll be happy.
And you say that we're going to beat the Nuggets and the Suns on the last game in the new year.
Yeah, and you know what? Well, not the Bulls, but throw in...
Perhaps the Clippers?
Perhaps the Clippers. The Clippers could be done.
Here's what I think's going to happen.
Tell me.
We're going to win the first 3 in a row here. We'll beat the Bulls tonight, and we'll win both games of the back-to-back.
Okay, because you're saying the big rest, we're going to game plan for the Clippers.
Yeah.
And we're not going to be tired for the night.
That's right. And I just noticed here, the game against the Clippers is a matinee. They play that at 3:30.
Okay, so they got some time.
A little more than usual. Like 5 hours of extra rest. which I think will probably make the difference. I mean, you nap for an extra 2 hours, you get, your legs will be there.
Okay.
So I'm with that, but I think the Trailblazers and the Warriors are both. They're not just better teams than the Raptors. They're better by more than just a little bit.
Yeah.
They're two very, very elite teams in this league. They're in the harder conference, and they're really playing great basketball. I don't think the Raptors, even if they play... I mean, they have to play the best game.
I think Warriors, unless something goes crazily wrong, no way.
Yeah,
no way.
I would agree with that.
They've got depth. They've got all-stars. They've got superstars.
They just don't lose. They have 3 losses all season, I think.
Yeah, and I don't think the 4th is coming from us.
Yeah, exactly. I would agree with that. But I think the first 3, I think we'll beat Chicago tonight. I think we'll beat the Clippers on a 3:30 game. I'm really iffy about this.
Could happen.
I'm really iffy about the Nuggets, though. The whole a back-to-back is hard enough, and the altitude is it's a thing.
You know what? I think we could win the Clippers.
Yeah?
And because JJ is the type of guy who, when he sees the matchup, he'll step up.
Mm-hmm.
He'll see, okay, who's guarding me? Reggie Bullock?
Jamal Crawford.
Jamal Crawford. These are all small guys. He's just going to blow by them physically.
Mm-hmm.
And, yeah, okay, maybe. Well, I could see it happening. I'm still going with my 2 wins. And I kind of like that this is recorded, because next week you're either going to be giving me shit or I'm going to be giving you shit.
So I think the theme is already set. For the rest of this podcast, I'll be the homer, and you'll be the pessimist.
Yeah, a little bit.
All right.
I just, I remember the bad times.
Yeah,
Jeez.
I remember the bad times too, but I'm more hyped on the Raptors. I mean, they're the best team in the Eastern Conference.
They're the best team in the Eastern Conference.
So, I think it's fitting to speak.
Yeah.
I think it's fitting to say that they could win 4 of 6 on a road trip. That's what I think.
Even
against this kind of competition.
Against, I would say they could win 4 to 6, but we're without our second best player. So I gotta take that in consideration.
That makes me think of a great topic for next week.
Oh.
Who is the Raptors' best player and why? And maybe a heads or tails in the future, for instance.
So let me ask you this.
Yes,
we
sir.
brought up DeMar. Any positives? I mean, it's sad to see him be injured. We wouldn't want that to happen to anyone. But just as a team, is there any silver lining that's going on that can happen that we've seen, stuff like that?
I see 2 main ones.
Okay.
First of all, Kyle Lowry's responsibility has been almost doubled during this stretch.
So his minutes gone much higher.
And for a guy like him, I mean, I know it's tiring him out, but I think for his mental part of the game, for his confidence, for his, how well he thinks he really can lead the team and do what they need him to do, I think he's probably impressing himself right now. He's really playing out of his mind.
Yeah, he's really
I'm not sure he expected himself. I'm not sure if you asked him, are you going to be an MVP, in the conversation for MVP, or maybe at least Eastern Conference Player of the Year?
He probably won't win, but he's in the conversation.
Absolutely. And I don't think anybody would have really expected that before the beginning of this year. I know he played great last year, but MVP, that's one heck of a prestigious award, isn't it?
Do you think he gets into the starting lineup for All-Star? Remember, that's based on voting.
Exactly.
So Kyrie Irving gets a huge advantage, getting the next to LeBron advantage there. But
there's more people, and
there are 2 guards.
When I think about it, Toronto must be the least populated city.
But we got Canada
in the Eastern Conference. Yeah, but Canada. But we're busy, man. We're watching the
busy.
World Junior Hockey Championship.
Yeah, we're not all sitting there vote me in.
Exactly.
Okay.
We don't all watch the Raptors games and see the vote Kyle and DeMar commercials. But I think he deserves it. For sure. I think he is the best point guard in the East.
I think he's by far the best point guard in the East. I think it's not even close.
So,
actually, John Wall, I think Lowry's having a better season, but they're both in the same league.
I think John Wall could get to his level, but I think Lowry's age and league
John
experience
Wall's,
right now just puts
John
him over
Wall's
the
a
top.
lot younger.
Exactly.
But Lowry is playing the best point guard. Lowry is winning games.
Exactly, man. He's carrying the team.
He's carrying a team.
He's doing what's necessary.
He's making winning plays. He is winning.
I think it's safe to say we love Kyle Lowry here.
Man, so much.
Yes.
So much. So anything else? I'll tell you what I think is going better now that DeMar's out. And again, I don't want DeMar to be out. The team's better with DeMar in it. DeMar's a cool guy.
I think DeMar DeRozan is the best player on the Raptors, but we'll get into that discussion another day.
Just out of silver lining, I think that we're starting to get a little more opportunity for different players. So we're seeing Terrence Ross get a few different looks than he would each game. We're seeing him drive a little bit more. Now, that's been a bit iffy, but we're giving him different responsibilities in the game, and we're letting him develop differently than we were before. The same applies to Jonas, right? JV's been doing pretty well for the most part. I mean, I can't think long term, but in the past few games, he's been doing well. He's been grabbing more boards, scoring more. So them two, just because they're in the starting lineup. And then on our bench, we see Patrick Patterson has stepped up a lot of the scoring and a lot of different intangibles.
I mean, when a guy playing over 30 minutes a game goes down, you got to fill him.
You have to replace his
production. And you don't usually do it with one guy.
Yeah, and you have a lot of guys that were just, they started off the season cold. They're getting into their mid-season groove now. Everybody's finding some chemistry, and everybody's trying to replace it, step up. It's great philosophy, and a lot of the team chemistry is going up.
I would totally
playing more
agree.
Cohesively.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's a challenge to have to play
100%.
without your best player.
100%.
And what doesn't kill you, Kyle,
makes you stronger.
makes you stronger. And I think the Raps are experiencing that right now. They got a unit that's got to play.
So
with
once DeMar comes back, we're
a force to be reckoned with yet again.
Oh man.
Another plus, I'm not sure if it's a real silver lining. This might be the inner fan and not so much the sports analyst coming out in me. But somebody goes one spot higher on the depth chart, and his name rhymes with Uno.
Oh my God, Bruno.
Yes, and
Bruno!
now in a game where the Raptors are up or down 20 points with 2 minutes to go, he's one guy closer to checking in and getting those rookie minutes that I think are of paramount importance for any rookie in the NBA.
I love how the team tries to feed him. They feed the rookie. He gets in the game.
Bruno!
They know that all the fans, they want to see
Well,
Bruno,
as if the fans
right?
didn't make it clear enough by chanting his name.
Bruno. So they're trying to feed him. They're giving him the ball. They're
Don't you
we're
love
up
it?
20.
Isn't it great?
They're saying, here's the ball, shoot it.
Basketball players
Here's
are
the
human
ball,
too.
pass it. I think the last game he was in, he passed it to Patrick Patterson.
Who
He
missed the dunk.
Missed the dunk,
Ugh.
which has been a bit of a trend for him.
I think that would have been his first NBA assist.
Would have been.
Yeah.
And then Patrick Patterson in the interview after the game said, yeah, I'm really sad I missed that dunk. I wanted to get Bruno an assist.
I'm glad that Pat Man cares about
Pat
that.
Man's a caring guy.
Yes, and he wants to see his rookie brother succeed.
Yeah, so talking about Pat Man, good guy, good player. Has he gotten better this season? What are you seeing new? The guy's 25 years old. He's getting better. He's a big guy. What's going on with him?
First of all, hats off to Masai Ujiri for bringing in Pat Man.
Yeah, the Rudy Gay trade.
Holy cow. That was just one of the best trades in the history of the Raptors, I think.
Well, Andrea
And it takes
Mariani
balls.
is going number one in my
right.
books.
Fair enough. But I think
that was an amazing trade.
it takes balls to trade Rudy Gay. No matter what city you're in or what you're getting in return. It takes balls to trade away a top-tier NBA talent.
And to choose DeMar over him, that takes quite a good eye, right? Rudy Gay was the more established player at the time, and to trade him and say, no, we're going with the younger guy, DeMar, that takes, a veteran's eye, and he made the right decision.
The eye of Masai.
The eye of Masai, I like that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So Patrick Patterson, let's talk about him. How's he doing? I think, let me just say, we're starting to see that I've noticed that his foot speed has gotten a lot higher, so he's becoming a much better defender than we saw last year.
You think he lost weight, maybe?
I don't know if it's that. I don't know.
He's just working on it.
He's working on it. He's moving faster. And, last year we used to say that Patrick Patterson was just one of our best offensive players, and we were thinking about switching him into the starting lineup. This is what all the fans were talking about on the offseason. But we were all talking about his defensive deficiencies. Mm-hmm. And now we're starting to see that he's really closing out some people well. I think there was a game earlier in the season. He shut down Gerald Green, a really fast and athletic player. Mm-hmm. And he plays not just athletically. He's not exactly the best athletic defender, but he plays very intelligent.
The charge taker type of game.
He just plays intelligent.
Beat your man to the spot. Yeah.
Beat your man to the spot, push him to where your other teams are, funnel him somewhere. He plays smart defense, and he's been doing well. And he's also been rebounding a lot more. Yeah. Right? He plays whatever he's noticing the team isn't doing. If the team's missing rebounds, he's going for the rebounds. The team needs threes, he's hitting threes. And he's such a dangerous offensive weapon. Yeah.
Patrick Patterson is what I like to call a 3.5.
A 3.5.
He's a little bit of an undersized 4, or a stretch 4, as the league likes to call him these days. Okay. And as far as his improvement, I think from last year to this year, it's imperative that it's apparent rather that his sense of identity within the Raptors team, he knows his role, he knows his job, and he does it night in, night out, and he really understands what he's got to do for the Raptors.
And he wants to be here. I love that.
And he hits a clutch 3 every now and then. So
great threes.
Yes.
I would say that's my favorite. Like,
because he's not the player you'd expect to be a cash shooter,
Yeah, definitely my favorite, like, basket from a Raptor, like off a play, whatever. Patrick Patterson hits a three. Oh, or if he makes an assist. He's also a good passer.
Yeah,
underrated.
Very well-rounded guy.
Yeah, I think he's improved a lot this season. You?
Yes, I would definitely agree. I don't think he's. I think he's just about hit his ceiling, Kyle.
You think the guy's 25?
But like,
right?
what else is he gonna add to his game? He can't get faster. He can't get taller.
Oh yeah, for sure. But he's hitting threes at an unbelievable rate.
Yeah,
I think he's shooting like 46 or 50% on threes, something really high.
If he can just keep up with what he's doing,
I think with more minutes we'll see better stat lines than what we're seeing.
Absolutely.
But he's the type of guy that we see. I'm pretty sure like last game he gets 6 rebounds, 4 assists, and 10 points.
Comes in, does it all.
Yeah. Great player.
I think if he hasn't hit his ceiling, he's quite close. That's his style, right?
He's young. He could get better.
Maybe
What's
back
he
to
gonna
basket. Back to basket really is be a player who can.
I'm more thinking defensively.
Oh,
Could
yeah?
he be a better defensive player? And we saw that he's gotten a little bit better.
I'll tell you what, he's got the right coach for it. That's for sure.
Yeah, defensive-minded coach, Dwayne Casey.
Yeah.
Right guy for the job.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Right guy for any job, man. What an NBA coach.
Oh, yeah. Overall, good guy. So, what else? So, we talked about JJ. We talked about P-Pat. Who else? You want to talk about Gravis?
I could talk about Gravis forever.
Is he our irrational confidence guy, or is that Lou Will?
Irrational confidence guy?
Every team needs to have an irrationally confident guy.
Here's the thing. If Grievous wasn't as confident,
okay,
he would be a sucky NBA player.
Yeah.
He's got to take shots that look a little iffy to play how he plays. He's got to be a high-risk, high-reward player.
Yeah, I guess that's who he is. But I swear, when I see him or Lou Will right early in the shot clock, just go for that pull-up three that's contested,
yes.
Oh my god.
Yes.
I want to pull my hair out.
Trust me, Dwayne. Even if he hits that shot, Dwayne Casey's ripping him a new one because any NBA team doesn't want to shoot.
But I will tell you this: he is one of my favorite players. I don't know about you.
He's probably the most skilled player on the Raptors.
He's an amazing bench point guard. He's a starting caliber.
Oh, Grievous, we're talking about.
Yeah, Grievous.
Okay.
Starting caliber point guard. No, not on a good team. He's too slow, and he's going to be taken advantage of on the defense.
Can't really defend. Yeah.
Yeah, can't really defend. More suited to guarding, twos or even threes sometimes. But great passer, great floor vision, and also just off the floor,
he's a glue guy.
He's a glue guy. He's a chemist. That's
he's
what he is.
Chemist,
yeah,
as the Grantland boys would say.
Yeah, and he just loves the team, and he loves Toronto.
And boy, does he speak English well for a Venezuelan, doesn't he?
Better than Bruno.
Much better than Bruno. Yeah, but he'll get there.
Bruno's been picking it up quick.
Yeah, I haven't seen an interview with Bruno in a little while, but I've seen. Grievous speaks quite a bit. The guys in the media like him because he's very articulate, very intelligent guy.
Yeah.
I love him, man. I think it's very important to have a good point guard in your second unit in the NBA.
100%.
I think it's like, without a doubt, the most important position in the NBA right now is a point guard.
Yeah, 100%. They have the ball in their hand the most.
They make the most decisions for your team.
100%.
So I think
having the 5, now it's the 1.
Having a guy who could, arguably start maybe for the worst, the crappier teams.
Yeah, but 2 years ago, he's 2 seasons removed from starting for New Orleans, averaging 9 assists.
He has experience as a starting point guard in the league.
He knows what he's doing.
And he's young. He's only in his 5th year, I think. So
yeah,
still improvement for him because as a point guard, most of the game is mental. It's like being a quarterback. You know what I mean? You got to go through your progressions.
We have a young team, relatively. We have a team that we're going to get better as our chemistry matures, and the individual players should get better too.
Yeah.
40% of our starting 5, they're 22 years old.
40% of our starting 5.
2
out of 5.
Yeah,
okay.
That's like that grade 6 math.
Yeah. Well, Lowry's not old. DeRozan's not old.
No. DeRozan's like 27, but
Amir Johnson's getting up there.
Amir's our oldest guy.
He's 30
he's 29, but 29. The thing is, him and Lou were one of the last people who were drafted right out of high school. So they're 29, but they've been in the NBA for 10 years.
Right.
They've got some wear on their body.
I didn't realize Lou didn't go to college.
Yeah. Uneducated.
Yeah.
So we've been talking about Raptors bench players. So just down to bottom line, who's the best? Who's your favorite? That type of thing.
The most valuable.
Oh, you know what? Before even that, We just got to say, we didn't really talk about Lou. I think all we got to say about Lou is he gets buckets.
He's born to put the ball in the net, man.
He gets buckets.
You just shoot the ball from anywhere.
That's all you need to know. He gets buckets.
Yeah. And I don't love this about his game, like in terms of the entertainment value, but I know it works. He looks to shoot free throws every time he touches the ball.
I love that. That's great analytics. Great analytic basketball. Get to the free throw, get a high percentage shot.
Yeah, get easy points.
I will say, if Dwayne Casey continues to stop drawing up plays in like the last 10 seconds of a quarter and just throws Lou, says, I don't know, do something. It's driving me nuts.
For a little while, he was like
doing well.
10 for 10 on buzzer beaters to start the season.
And now all the teams figured him out.
Yeah,
and Dwayne Casey is just like, I don't know, do what you want. 10 seconds left, I don't care. I'm sick of that. But anyways,
he is a special player.
Special player, good fit, good trade. How we got him for John Salmons, I'll never know. Shame on you, Atlanta Hawks.
I mean, he was hurt in their defense. He was coming off.
Yeah,
they didn't know if he was going to get back.
He didn't really fit their system. But and Atlanta values their cap flexibility and everything, but shame on you for doing that, and more importantly, shame on New Orleans for taking John Salmons from free agency. They even spoke about putting him in the starting lineup at one point.
He's a good glue guy in the league, though. He's a good chemist. Yeah, he's a good chemist.
Yeah, but he's not exactly a great NBA player.
He was not anymore.
He was a Dwayne Casey favorite for some odd reason. Him and Allen Anderson back in the day.
The coaches just like old guys, man. They just like older, wiser gentlemen, even if they can't run.
Maybe, was it the beard?
Or shoot.
Was it the beard of
Could have been the beard.
Salmons?
Yeah.
It was interesting.
Nice.
So let's go back to who's your favorite or who's the best, most important bench guy for the Raptors?
I think we're going to have differing opinions on this one. I think the most valuable to the Raptors that comes off the bench is Grievous Vasquez. I think in today's NBA, if you don't have a backup point guard that can come in and be a threat on offense, who can shoot and pass, and that the defense has to pay attention to, and he'll catch them if they fall asleep. And I think he's playing great. I also think he's a chemist, not to overuse this term, but he is a good glue guy. I see the way he speaks. He seems to be very popular with his teammates. Mm-hmm. My answer to that question is General Grievous.
You know, I'm going to disagree on this one. And if you asked me this a few months ago before the season started, I would have said, gravy, baby. Okay? But I think it might have changed just because he had a bit of a cold start to the season. I'm not sure. And we kind of saw the team winning without him playing well. I was going to say JJ. I'm a huge fan of him. And I was totally wrong about him. I thought he'd be a good defender, but that was it. But I'm going to say, Patrick Patterson. The guy, he's been here a season already, re-signed with us, impacts the game. We're quite thin in our front court, right? He plays great minutes off the bench. Plays some good defense. Not like James Johnson, where he's going to stop the guy and do something like brilliant that goes on the highlight reel, but
help defender.
Yeah, he plays good help defense. Nothing too flashy, and then he does a bit of everything. If the team's playing small ball and they need rebounds, they got him and Hansbrough on. He's going to get the boards. Mm-hmm. He's going to hit the threes. He hits not just threes but big threes too. Like when the team really needs it. James Johnson too. I think he's very important, but I'm going with Patrick Patterson.
Pat squared. I mean, little argument. I think Patrick Patterson is a better player. Yeah. If I could have one player on my team between him and Grievous, I'd put Pat there.
Yeah, I think Patrick Patterson could probably start on more playoff teams than Grievous.
Yes, I would agree, but I just think that the importance of a point guard is what puts him over the top for me.
Yeah, to have a good floor general is very important.
Because think of a team with like a crappy backup point guard. Like I think the Bulls had, maybe not this year, but last year they had like John Lucas coming in.
Yeah, well the Bulls somehow always turn some like guy
into a better guy.
Yeah, they just every year they get one guy from the waiver wire
and they give him superpowers.
They give him superpowers for 1 year and then they can't re-sign him the next year. They just gotta get these guys and like hook them to a little longer contract.
Yeah.
Because like Nate Robinson, he was great. If only they had him for like a 2-year contract. Same thing with DJ Augustin.
I never understood, like even when a couple years ago when Nate Robinson was in his pride, he was just a one and done everywhere he went. Everywhere.
Yeah. He was so happy to get a multi-year contract offer in Denver.
He deserved it, man. I know he's short, but the guy can ball, 100%. Man.
The guy could ball
on both ends.
He could score
and he competes.
Buckets. Yeah, he competes. He was so happy to get like a 3-year offer, even if it was not even for enough money than what he deserved.
I would love to see him on the Raptors, even as a 38-year-old. I would.
Okay.
I would love to see him.
I think that's more
play
just
2 minutes a game on the Raptors.
I think you're just saying that because he's entertaining.
That's what I mean. I don't think he could be a useful guy for the Raptors, but if we could trade Greg Steemsma for Nate Robinson 1-on-1, would you do it?
Would you trade? Okay, because that's unrealistic. But would you trade? Let's say, because they're similar players, Lou Williams for him?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
Not even. I wouldn't
Tell
even
me
consider it.
They're both short guys for their position.
One's past his prime.
Okay.
I would say Nate is past his prime.
Yeah.
And I'd say Lou Williams is sort of in the latter half of his prime.
Yeah, well, Lou Williams also, he's undersized, but he has really a great
skill
wingspan.
set.
Yeah, but also I just mean physically, he has a great wingspan.
Oh,
he's
yeah.
a better defender than advertised. That's not saying that much, but
he's still not a great defender by any
Yeah.
means. But way more valuable than Nate. Come on, for sure.
yeah, I'm not doing the trade either. It just I'm not exactly lining up to see Nate Robinson on the Raptors.
I'm not for winning games, for selling tickets and for putting a smile on my face.
Maybe 3 years ago when we were bad. we were in Tank Nation or something.
Before relevance.
We were like, let's get Nate Robinson. He'll jump over someone.
Pre-relevance.
Pre-relevance. That's a good term for it.
Understood.
So I'm going with Patrick. You're going with General Grievous. Both good players. No wrong choice. And JJ could be thrown in there. I guess I'm not so high on Lou because I don't know. I just find scoring is not the easiest because it's hard. But I mean, you could find your points.
It's
kind of not there.
It's kind of all or nothing with Lou. I find he either has a 26-point game, or he misses his first three and never really has much of an impact.
If Lou wasn't in the game, although we've really abused his scoring, but if we just never got Lou, we would find those 14 points a game from someone. So that's the only reason I'm not taking him.
Understood.
You agree?
Yes, absolutely.
Cool. So I guess the next thing we should just talk about is some starters. We talked about the bench. Let's talk about starters. So JV, okay, third year. Everybody's saying this is the year where he makes it big. What's happened? Has he lived up to that?
Well, I still don't think he's reached his ceiling by any means.
Well, definitely not.
Has he made it big?
Yeah,
he's a force. Other teams know he's on the floor, and they know pre-game that they game plan a bit against him for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
He's a big guy.
He's inconsistent still. He's a young guy.
Exactly.
And the big 7-footers, they take a long time.
Especially
to
the European ones, Kyle.
Yeah,
it's a different game in Europe.
Not only that, it's a big cultural difference.
Absolutely.
Coming to North America, yeah.
Although that's an interesting point because perhaps it's a slightly less of a difference when you go to Toronto as opposed to, say, Phoenix, Arizona.
Maybe that's why the San Antonio Spurs, they draft all these European players.
Maybe that's why.
They develop some kind of thing where, like, we'll get all the European players, we'll make it like Little Europe.
Who do they have? They have Parker,
Thiago Splitter,
Danilo Gallinari.
Boris
No,
Diaw.
that other guy. Marco Bellinelli.
International
squad.
They have so many international people.
I kind of like that.
Yeah,
so do the Raptors, actually.
Raptors have got a few, not that many. We got 2 Brazilians.
2 Brazilians.
We got
Vasquez
Bebe and Bruno.
And then Vasquez JV.
Yeah.
That's about it, isn't it?
That's about it.
Yeah.
4. Well, we used to like drafting these international players because we thought, they won't want to leave us.
That didn't exactly work out.
Didn't work out.
Andrea Bargnani, first overall.
That was a shame.
That was a stupid
We missed out
draft
on
pick. Maybe the biggest bust in the history of the NBA.
LaMarcus Aldridge, we missed out on him.
Yeah.
Could have had that guy. He's pretty good now.
Dude, imagine right now the Raptors without, I'm just going to use his name, Greg Steemsma, and with LA. LaMarcus Aldridge.
Yeah, but that's too unrealistic.
That's
I
too
can't
unrealistic,
even think
but that would
about
just be so awesome. I love LaMarcus Aldridge. I think he's one of the most skilled power forwards.
What about Greg Steemsma? Do you like this guy?
I don't think I've never seen him play basketball. I saw him. He wasn't terrible with Boston.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't terrible. I mean,
to me, it seems like every time he gets on the court, he doesn't have good hands. He always misses the catch.
He's not ready to play.
But on top of it, he just literally, we brought him on to play some defense just in case, and all he does is foul. Like, I could foul. Pay me $1 million. I will foul the 7-footer. I will do it.
Kyle, it's a lot harder than you think.
But that's all he does. He goes in for like 6 minutes. He gets 4 fouls.
Yeah, but you do need guys to do that.
I'll do it.
Fouls off the bench.
I'll do it.
Yeah, but you could foul. Name me a 7-footer in the NBA. Anyone?
Could it be JV?
Sure. Okay.
Okay.
If you're not on if you have his job, you have Greg Steam's job for the Charlotte Bobcats.
Okay.
And JV's barreling to the basket. You could foul him as hard as you could.
Yeah, I could.
He'll finish on you. You know what I mean? He'll be like, "Is that a mosquito that just bit me on the arm?" You know?
You think?
Dude, these guys
Take
are
him.
freaks.
I could take him.
I'd pay to see that, Kyle. I'd pay to see a one-on-one JV, Kyle. Anyway.
So JV though,
Yes.
has he gotten better? What do we need to see more?
Something that I've noticed from him is like I see it with a lot of big men, and sometimes they can grow out of it, but sometimes they really can't, and that kind of concerns me. He's sort of clumsy.
Oh
His
yeah.
hand skills and like just catching the ball and looking around quickly
Running.
and making a fast decision. It's taken him a little while to sort of get his head on the right track and to make his decisions quickly and efficiently. He improves game to game.
Yeah, you brought up a number of things. Decisiveness, that's one thing, but you know the guy can't run. He actually went to a running coach this offseason.
A running coach.
He didn't know how to run. I know how to run.
I think he didn't know how to run well enough.
Yeah,
But,
but no, his problem was the conditioning. So even when we see him play extended minutes, everyone's saying, "Oh, he doesn't play enough in the fourth quarter," and that's true.
You think he's
but
gassed?
Yeah, he is a bit gassed.
Yeah.
I think there was a few games where he played like 33 minutes, and you're speaking to him after, and he's going,
Yeah, but relatively, Kyle, that's an easy thing to fix. Time on the treadmill.
That's
you know what I
an easy
mean?
thing to fix, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what I think. Decisiveness is a huge one. Wait, let's talk about that.
Yes, sir.
Decisiveness, he gets the ball. It's always, a
It's
few
always like
seconds.
3 jab steps. He's just
Yeah.
like, he doesn't really know
What
what,
about
to do with
that
it for a
pump
little
fake?
while.
He always has that pump fake.
Even
that,
though he's never shot it once from that range.
Everybody knows that pump fake is
Nobody
coming.
jumps.
Nobody jumps. There's like that 1 in like 7 guy who jumps, and as soon as he jumps,
One
the
right-handed
coach-
dunk.
he gets the basket, and the guy's coach is just like, "Man, you are coming
You're an
right
idiot."
off the bat.
Yeah.
Man, you are coming right off this floor. You bit on his pump fake.
It's funny
It's
'cause
in the game plan."
We don't even know if he can make it from that range, from the mid range.
He's a decent
He doesn't
shooter.
shoot. He doesn't shoot it that often.
No, but he's a decent shooter, and he's a great free throw shooter for a big guy.
For a yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
definitely.
I think he hits
which is
80%.
very important
I
because
think he hits like 80% or 81%.
you don't
free
want to
throw.
see a hack of JV.
Yeah, but I'll tell you what bothers me the most.
Yes, sir.
So JV's deep in the post. Okay, Kyle Lowry, he's like, "Here's my big man. I'm gonna feed him," and he gives him the ball. JV 10 out of 10 times is finishing that play. If I'm on the other team,
If he's deep, if he's near the bucket,
yeah, pretty much. If he's in that position, he is never going to pass the ball.
yeah.
And if he gets the ball and I'm on the other team, the first thing I'm going to do is double on him because I know he's not going to pass it, and it's just terrible. He has to learn to play within the team's offense.
Yeah, like find cutters while his back's to the bucket.
Yeah,
kind of
or
thing.
as soon as that guy doubles, throw it out to
Find
the guy.
him.
Yeah,
Yeah,
find him. Every single time he gets the ball stripped.
That's just it's a heady thing. I mean,
Yeah,
that'll
that'll
improve with
with age.
and with NBA caliber coaching.
Mhm.
You know,
And to talk about what Dwayne Casey has been saying, what about his defense? Is it a problem?
no, not a problem. No.
I think
What do
it'll
you
come-
think?
I think it'll come with age. He's
Yeah.
not a great defender right now. You got Amir. He's compensating. Amir's compensating for him.
He can do fine. He can give the guys a hard night on the block down
Sometimes.
there. He's a big
very,
body.
Very inconsistent.
Yeah,
But I think it'll all come with age.
me too. I'm
Maybe
very
not.
hyped on JV. I think he can be definitely one of the better
Would
centers
you
in the league.
trade him right now for a more defensively capable center?
Like
Let's
a
say
Tyson Chandler?
No. Let's say someone. Well, okay, Tyson Chandler, but more. I was thinking someone with upside. Let's say like Larry Sanders, a guy who's a great defender, but his ceiling is a great defender, and that's it.
In this specific, I don't like Larry Sanders.
No?
I just don't think I'd want to hang out with him. I don't like his
Okay,
his personality.
That's fair. He's
And
had
I
a lot
think
of
the
off-court
Raptors-
drama.
The Raptors have put a lot of emphasis on getting character guys, as they're referred to.
Yeah.
So
Good people.
I think he'd be the opposite of a chemist.
Okay.
He'd be a
Okay, he's
physicist.
destroying.
and he would destroy the Raptors and
Okay,
in
that's
that,
fair.
psychologically.
But just would you trade him for a defensive
No,
minded center?
no. You don't listen. You don't know what you have in JV yet.
Okay.
You don't know
It's true. This guy is loaded with potential.
exactly. So he could
He could be better
become
than Drummond.
he could become a consistent 20 and 12.
Could.
So
He
that's
could. We've
pretty
seen
awesome.
him have some pretty good games this season.
And if he can start to do that consistently, which I think every player has. It's not easy to start in the NBA and be amazing. Not every big is
No,
Anthony
it'll take
Davis.
many
You know what
years.
I mean? So
Yeah. Anthony Davis even took about a year, although he was
But
injured.
boy, is he ever up!
Oh, man.
Boy, is he ever a great player now! Holy cow!
Next big thing. So let's just go around the league,
All right.
okay?
Yes, sir.
So a few things been going on this week. Let's just start with the least recent and go to the most recent. So the first thing, Rudy Gay made some headlines, and we're going to talk about him because he was an ex-Raptor.
Yeah, well, why don't you break down the story that took place between him and the big K Perk?
So, for those who don't know, Rudy's Kings were going to play the Thunder, and he mentioned in an interview that Kendrick Perkins is a clown. Perkins didn't like this, and he said, "Man, I'd rather be a clown than a virus, because at least a clown could wash off the makeup."
Clown gets out of the costume.
Yeah. So,
I mean, a virus can be treated. Kendrick Perkins didn't exactly give his best quote there, but
we know
we
what
get
he was
the
trying
point.
to say. We know what he was trying
Yes,
to say.
absolutely.
So, is Rudy a virus? He was a Raptor. We know this, so
Look,
let's talk about it.
Masai Ujiri made him look like a virus, that's for sure. I've been looking at a lot of stats about the, before the Rudy trade and after the Rudy trade.
Oh yeah, we got a lot better.
There's no question. The team.
But what about that first season, that first half season where we had him? He looked like a hero.
Yeah.
You missed a closer, and he had like 4 game winners. Is he a virus? I mean, he looks pretty good on Sacramento now.
Yeah. What's the best team he's ever been on? Did Memphis ever go to the conference finals with him?
No, but Memphis. Well, okay. You know what? There is some truth to it.
Yeah.
And I didn't think there was some truth to it, but now I'm starting to, because
he's never played for a great team.
Memphis, did a little addition by subtraction with him.
Yes,
and
sir.
he was a good player on Memphis, but
they got better without him.
Yeah, they did. And Tayshaun Prince is not nearly as good as Rudy Gay, but he also makes a fraction of what Rudy earns. But
sometimes it's not about the skill; it's just about how you fit.
Yeah, and same thing with the Raptors.
Yeah,
it could be that he's just not a good analytics player.
Right.
He doesn't get to the free throw.
Offenses aren't efficient with him on it.
Yeah, and he takes these long twos rather than
early shot clock shots.
Yeah. But is he a virus? Is he a bad locker room presence or anything?
Hard to say. I don't think so.
I don't think he's bad. I think he's a good guy.
We have to see how this goes down with the Kings.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's not exactly on a great team there, so he won't exactly be able to show if he can make a great team better or worse. But I mean, he's putting the ball in the net. He's playing well.
Okay.
On a
virus or not virus?
Slight virus.
I mean, he's
like a common cold.
The problem
he's a common cold.
He's looking good on the Kings, but it's the Kings.
Exactly, but what is that worth?
It's
exactly.
the Kings.
Kyle, I'll tell you, he's a common cold. He can shake that reputation. I think he could become a great team player. I think every player has to become more of a team player.
He's looking better this year, though, at least.
Yes.
Coming from the USA camp, he's doing well.
Yeah.
I like Rudy. I hope the best for him.
But he's a common cold, in my eyes.
Okay, I can live with that.
All right.
He's not our common cold. Not anymore.
Not anymore, exactly.
So next is Rajon Rondo getting traded.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that.
Does this make Dallas a contender in the West? Are they up there with the big boys now?
They're looking like it.
Yeah. They've got like a starting 5.
They've got a big 5.
Holy cow.
I think they're the first one.
Tyson Chandler gets big 5 type of praise.
He won defensive player of the year.
Not last year.
2 years ago. He's a great defender. Every single player there is a all-star-ish player, at least, a franchise player, a future Hall of Famer, or an all-NBA somethinger. They're all good players.
Monte Ellis is the worst player in their starting lineup.
Monte Ellis is not the worst player.
Tyson Chandler is the worst player?
Monte Ellis is a great player.
No, I agree, but he's the worst player in their starting lineup.
No, Chandler Parsons I'm going with.
I love Chandler Parsons.
He's a good player, but man, Monte Ellis, they build their offense around him.
True.
That team is Monte Ellis' team.
Yes, but Chandler Parsons, in my view,
he's great.
Has more upside than Monte Ellis. Will be better in his career than Monte Ellis was in his prime.
Well, the good thing with Chandler is he's a jack of all trades.
Yeah,
he does with
offense, defense, rebounding,
shooting, dunking. Yeah, he
everything.
does what the team needs. He plays, and he's good at everything. He's not great at everything, but he's good at everything, and he's a great player, smart player. But I'll go. You know what? I love Rajon Rondo. No, I'm not saying he's the worst player. He's an amazing player.
I'd say he's basically the best. After maybe Dirk edges him out, but
I'm going with Monte Ellis as the best player on that lineup.
I can't believe that.
Yeah,
I can't believe it.
The team is built around Monte.
Yeah, but
it's his team.
Yes, yeah, but is he a better player? If you could draft, if it was a fantasy draft in the NBA,
and I could draft,
and it was between Chandler Parsons and Monte Ellis.
Oh, I go with Monte Ellis, man. Oh no! Wait, no! I'll go with Chandler, and I'll tell you why. Okay,
Yes.
I got a new fantasy strategy.
Okay.
Screw points. Everybody goes for points. I don't need points. Let them win in the head-to-head points. I'll go for the rebounds and the assists. So I'll go with Parsons.
Okay, but you don't think Parsons?
But if I was asking you, who are you like building your team, like not fantasy, but if you were to do
real
an actual
basketball
draft,
team, yes.
if you were actually doing a draft,
Yes, sir.
and you had these players for their age, whatever.
Yeah. I'm going with Chandler Parsons,
Go
man.
with Monte.
I'm going with Chandler Parsons for sure.
a hell of a
I love
player.
his game so much.
I don't know.
Put it this way: he's still very early in his career,
Okay.
and he can play. He looks like a perennial, certainly an all-star.
Okay. But you know what? We're missing the main point of this. Let's talk about Rajon.
Yes. Sorry.
So how does this change the Mavs? Does this make them into a playoff contender?
Well, I mean, it puts the. You're right what you said. The team is built around Monte. He's going to have to make a big adjustment because Rondo's going to occupy that ball
Yeah, and
for the majority of the time he's on the
that's what
court.
I think. I think it's not such a blessing in the short term to get him because Rondo is. Everybody says he's this selfless guy, such a great facilitator, and he is.
Mm-hmm.
But he's incredibly ball dominant in the sense that he will have the ball and then give it to someone and they shoot.
He needs to come off a few screens before he can make that assist. He needs to have it and run around with it for a bit, for sure.
Monte wants to make his own shot. You know?
Yeah, but Monte could go back to pre-Splash Brothers form where he played off ball quite a bit. A lot of catch and shoot, very DeMar DeRozan-esque, actually.
I just think you're throwing a huge cog into an already not only efficient, but like league history. It's one of the best offenses in the NBA history. You're throwing you're not just changing. Okay, Jameer Nelson, he wasn't a super important.
It's a
player,
big
but
facelift.
You're throwing in a guy who gets the ball. He's handling the ball for a good chunk of the game.
So we think Boston made the good trade.
Well, Boston made a good trade. They needed to look at the age of their team and say, our next great team
does not have Rondo on
Does
it.
not have Rondo. The rest of our core is too young.
And
So
they've
they
got
need
a
to
good
get rid of
point guard already. So
Marcus Smart is going to be great. He
Yes.
is like
tough as nails.
he
player.
reminds me of Kyle Lowry.
A little bit, yes.
Yeah, If he could get to Kyle Lowry's level, then wow, they've got something in him. But they got good stuff back from him. They got ending contracts and good prospects.
And Brandon Wright, who I think can also
Yeah,
be
he
a
was
pretty solid player in the league.
yeah, he was the hammer off the bench for the Mavs.
Yeah.
So
Intimidating player
It was
to play against.
it was sort of a win-win trade, but we'll see if it makes them a contender right away. So what's next? What's going on in the NBA?
Well, one of my childhood heroes today
Jay
was
Smooth.
smacked in the face by the Detroit Pistons. He
Stan
was
Van
waived.
Gundy didn't like him.
Stan Van Gundy said, "You ain't playing here no more." And Josh Smith has been waived by the Detroit Pistons. We're still looking to see if he's going to get picked up by anyone. Do you think he'll get picked up? And if so, by who?
Off waivers?
Yes.
No.
Do you
I'll
think
tell you
maybe next year he'll get a contract? Or
I think he's going to clear waivers. I think if he has a shot at getting picked up on waivers, because you have to remember, waivers means they take on the full contract.
Yes.
That's like $13 million a year.
Yeah.
I'm not paying $13 million a year for Jay Smooth.
But what if he just didn't like Detroit? What if he just like didn't he got there and he was like, wait, hold on, I'm not sure I like it here.
It wasn't he liked it here. It was he wasn't a good fit within their team. But
Right.
he could be a good fit in many teams. I think he'd be a good fit in a lot of Western teams. But still, I don't want to get a $13 million cap hit for Josh Smith.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I think the only team sort of foolish enough to do this is the Kings.
The Kings.
Vivek Ranadive, he's wanted Jay Smooth for a while. He fired Mike Malone because they disagreed on this. Mike Malone thought an offense of Boogie, Rudy Gay, and Jay Smooth wouldn't work. I don't think it would work either. I think 9 out of 10 people, but Vivek Ranadive said, no, I want him. So, I don't know. I don't think he's going through. Kings maybe grab him. What do you think?
I think the Kings might grab. I'm so hesitant to say that Jay Smooth's career is over. He'll never be the same Jay Smooth in any regard that he once was.
He's a good player.
Yeah, he's a good player, man. He's a good player.
I don't think he's an all-star player.
But what happened to him this year? Is just the fit is responsible for
No,
bad
it's
shooting,
just-
bad defending, bad all that. You know what I
No,
mean?
the Hawks were smart to realize his deficiencies. He's never going to be a good 3-point shooter.
No.
And the problem is he's that guy who's kind of he doesn't seem that coachable. He wants to take those threes. He's done less threes this year, but he doesn't seem to.
He's not really he doesn't even shoot mid range that well. He's not a jump shooter
No,
by any means.
he's a 5 to 10 foot shot shooter.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
he has to recognize that.
Yeah.
Once he does, he'll have like a resurgence.
I'll tell you what, when I was a kid, he was one of my favorite players in the league. He's sort of like that jumping. He's the Blake Griffin before Blake Griffin. He was the jumping
He's
power
an
forward,
athletic monster.
athletic 6'9", 6'10" guy.
Yeah, guy knows how to move. So where do you think he winds up? I think he's going past waivers. Then he gets his choice, pick of the litter. He could choose a team. He'll probably want a contender, or at least a very good team. Where can you see him go?
I think he might go back to Atlanta.
No, I can't see that.
It's his hometown.
I don't know. I think Atlanta...
He's loved in that city, man.
He's loved in that city, but I think Atlanta knows that he's not the right guy. Atlanta, they want to stretch the floor.
Mm-hmm.
He is not that guy.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, not anymore. He was.
Not
Oh, sorry. Not stretching the floor. I meant run the floor.
He's a guy who runs the floor.
Cannot shoot the ball.
He cannot shoot the ball.
Yes.
He is not in their offensive plan. I think he'd be a great fit on the West Coast. What about Phoenix Suns?
Yeah. Any team that likes to run, we were talking about this. Any team that likes to move.
Yeah, Denver.
Play with speed. Yeah, Denver.
Yeah, except Denver has like 8-4 guys. Already.
Also, keep in mind, that's the one thing that you lose from your game every year north of like 28 that you get. Every year it's going to get slower.
How old is he? He's like 29 or something?
That's a good question for Google. I think he's around the 30 mark.
So yeah, I definitely like him on the Suns. I could see him on any West Coast. A lot of the West Coast teams love that run and gun offense. Let's just because this is a Raptors podcast. Could he be a Raptor? We wave the Cleveland Steamer and go for Jay Smoove. What do you think about that?
I don't think it's necessary. I wouldn't do it.
Me neither.
I wouldn't do it. Don't mess with Don't mess with a good formula, man.
Yeah, our strongest asset is our chemistry.
Exactly, and Steamsman on the court might not contribute too much to the team.
No, but he grows a mustache. He did Movember,
and that's what makes a winning basketball team.
Yeah,
Greg
Steamsman's
a
beautiful mustache.
Yeah. He's got those blonde streaks, man. He's got not streaks, they're
but
blonde
also,
locks.
You know what? Also, it's just Smith will come in and he's going to want to be a starter. And Amir, he's playing at 60% most nights, but he's a great starter. He's great chemistry, and
Josh Smith's just a problem causer, isn't he?
Yeah, he's going to want too many minutes and too many touches.
Yeah.
And I would much rather, just because he is a 4, I would much rather giving Patrick Patterson.
Yeah, you don't want to take minutes away from Patterson to give him.
And I would much rather even Amir taking a shot. Amir, when he shoots, he gets some good shots.
He hits threes. He hits those wide open threes.
I love them. He takes like 4
and the
minutes
crowd
to
just
wind
goes
up.
Yeah, exactly. And he jumps like this high.
Yeah, he jumps like
3 inches up.
3 inches high, and it almost looks like he's pushing the ball.
But he drains it, man. Nothing but net sometimes. It's impressive.
Is he a stretch 4 now?
Well, he's a stretch 5. But no, I wouldn't. He's not. He isn't.
No,
because he's not a consistent threat from that range. He doesn't demand to be guarded at the 3-point line. Mm-hmm.
So going back to Josh, did he deserve to be waived?
He sucked, man. He was
a bad Piston, but you think they couldn't trade him for anything? I mean, Philly wouldn't take on his contract. Philly takes on everybody's contract.
Philly could use anybody right now, especially a big.
Anybody.
Especially
they
another
could
big.
use somebody not from the D League. Yes, I agree. But they waiving him that came as a shock.
Yeah, I mean, especially when it's a high-profile player like
that's
Josh
a
Smith.
big cap hit too. They used something called the stretch provision. So if you don't know what that is, they're spreading out his cap hit over double the years that it costs.
So half the cap hit every year.
Yeah, so he's on the books for 2 more years after this one. He's going to be paid out for 5 years now.
But if he clears waivers and signs with another team,
no cap hit.
Okay.
But he won't be. Who's going to take a $13 million? Who has
no?
the room?
If he clears.
Oh, if he clears the waivers
and then signs with say.
Oh well, then that money comes off the contract that he.
I see. Okay, it's all on the new team.
Yeah, no. Let's say he signs with the Houston Rockets for $500,000 for this year, then $500,000 comes off his $26 million.
Okay, so Detroit is screwed.
Yeah, Detroit's taking a big cap hit, but they know that.
Okay.
So Houston Rockets, could they use him?
Who's their power forward now?
Terrence Jones, good player.
Yeah,
good stretch 4.
Basically, could Josh Smith coexist with Dwight Howard as a 4-5 1-2 punch?
Yeah.
I mean, it's easy to be a big who plays with Dwight Howard, I think.
Like, Josh Smith could potentially hit that 15-footer. And more
Although
importantly,
that's so not his game, Kyle. He's a face-up ball on the floor.
yeah, ball and forward, but that's fine. If he stands at the 3, and he's a good enough threat that you want to stick on him because you know that if he gets the ball, he's going for the hoop.
Yeah.
Dwight just doesn't want a guy who's standing at... He doesn't want a Greg
Dwight
Monroe.
just doesn't take more than 10 steps, or 2 steps rather, away from the bucket on offense. He doesn't want it.
He knows what he's good at.
The paint is the
He
paint.
knows what he's good at.
Yes, sir.
Man, Josh Smith.
Yeah, man.
Sad to see him go.
It's crazy because I remember the dunk contest that he was a part of, and just his career as an Atlanta Hawk and how loved he was in that city. I was lucky enough to go to a few Atlanta Hawks games. I have family in Atlanta, and he was like the hero there. It's a sad day for Josh Smith and for the city of Atlanta and Detroit.
He'll find somewhere.
Yes, he will. And with that,
Let's call it an episode.
let's call it an episode. Kyle, this was so much fun,
This was the pilot.
and we're only going to get better.
We're only going to get better.
Only uphill from here.
Season 1, episode 1, of many more.
Yes, sir.
Every week.
I think we did pretty good.
I think we did pretty well.
Hopefully you guys like it out there in Raps fan world.
Yeah.
Again, head to rapscast.com. Weekly podcast. It's Raps This Week. I'm Jake.
I'm fine.
Hope you guys enjoyed yourselves. Thank you for listening. Be safe out there, everyone.
I'm really serious. I think that's a good idea.
Just talking? Well, what's the show about?
It's about nothing.
No story?
No, forget the story.
You gotta have a story.
Who says you gotta have a story?